Greetings and salutations, horror movie fans. My name is Gilbert Ybarra, and welcome back to the Addict Review. Yes, I am super happy because we are in spooky season, y'all, and you know what that means. It is like a buffet of horror movies, but with all this selection and variety, which one should we watch? And me, being the scary movie freak that I am, I started a whole channel just to talk about scary movies. I get the question all the time. What movies do I like to watch during this time of year? And that's normally a hard question, but you know what? Today I just picked 10. Now, there's no real rhyme or reason. It's not as if I'm gonna say these movies this is the best one, this is the least best one. No, just 10 that I really gravitate to, and I really try to tell people, check these movies out. They're great, and especially this time of year because they stirred something up special in me, and I'm gonna talk about why they're special to me and why you might enjoy them. So here's my 10 randomly selected movie for the rest of October. Coming in at my number 10 spot is a wonderful homage to 80s slashers that we learned to love, like from the Friday the 13th series. This movie stars Joel David Moore. If you don't know that name, it's okay, nobody fucking knows that name. He's that weirdo from Grandma's Boy. And we also have Kane Hodder as the name you're gonna know. His name is Victor Crowley. And what movie is it? It is Hatchet. Released in 2006, this movie came out swinging. Everything, all the tropes that you love from 80s slasher films, like being in the woods and supernatural, unhuman-like, maybe humanoid creatures chasing you in the woods trying to kill you, this movie has it in fucking spades. Borrowing from all of our 80s beloved slasher films, we have a group of tourists in New Orleans. Oh god, that was a horrible impression. Okay, New Orleans, alright? They take a haunted swamp tour to kind of check out the origins of the mythical Victor Crowley. Who's Victor Crowley? Watch the movie and you'll find out his backstory. Now, I'm happy to see that I walked through Target the other day and I saw one of those little figurines and it was Victor Crowley. I was like, oh shit, that motherfucker made a name for himself finally. So that just goes to show that it's a good movie and it's perfect for this time of year because it's campy, it's cheesy as shit, and it's a great, like I said, homage to 80s slasher films. This movie helped me to discover that I had a talent I didn't know. This movie helped me to realize that I could put my foot in my mouth because I talked a lot of shit about this movie. I saw the trailers and I scoffed at it left and right. I didn't want to give it a chance. And the fact that it came out on a Friday the 13th, clutched the pearls. I couldn't believe the disrespect that this movie thought it could come out. But when I saw it, oh my god, I was completely wrong. And that movie was the wonderful, wonderful Happy Death Day. Released in 2017 on a Friday the 13th in October, we are following the character of Tree, a complete sorority bitch that's given the campus enough motive for everybody to want to kill her every day. And that's what's happening. She is stuck in a goddamn loop getting murdered every day until she figures out why. Now, at first I was like, okay, Groundhog's Day cold, they want their plot back. Oh my god, I couldn't have been more wrong. Full discretion though, 2017 was a very dark time in my life, so I'm sure when I saw that trailer with complete pessimism, I was like, fuck this movie. But watching it, I did not anticipate just how wonderful Tree was. She smiled and said any line and the Red Sea parted for me. I couldn't get over how charming and fierce and just what a great and underrated final girl we have in her. Now, as entertaining as it is to watch Tree run around campus trying not to get eviscerated, we are also treated to the mystery aspects of it and a lot of comedic relief, especially with the montage of her trying to go through her list of what's going on and just being picked off left and right. It's a fun movie and it's more than Groundhog's Day. I'm sorry. And honestly, thank you, Happy Death Day, for being a great movie in 2017 and should be appreciated right now. Now on to number 8. Coming in at my 8th spot is an anthology movie that I have adored since I was a kid, and another movie that is not talked about, isn't on really a lot of streaming services, and I'm so confused because it's such a great collection of scary movies from the hood. Oh shit. What movie are we talking about? A little movie called Tales from the Hood. Tales from the Hood was released in 1995, and unfortunately I like to divide up horror movies as kind of like pre-Scream and post-Scream, because 1996 is that number that we needed to hit for the revival of horror. Unfortunately, Tales from the Hood came out in 1995, which was just, nobody gave a shit about scary movies, and at the same time that movie unfortunately was really kind of advertised as almost like a spoof, more comedy, almost like a scary movie type, as opposed to a legitimate scary movie. And Tales from the Hood is not just a legit scary movie. The social commentary in this film is so powerful. I'm not going to say ahead of its time because it's aged so well that the stories and tales in this movie can be held today and kind of applied to today's circumstances. I'm not sure which is more frightening in this movie. Is it the scary stuff that we see, or is it the content, the topics that they're bringing up, such as domestic violence and abuse, police brutality, corrupt politicians, black on black crime, drug dealings in neighborhoods? There's a lot going on, intertwined masterfully in these scary stories. Now the lessons are very impactful, but so are the goddamn scares. Sure, I was around 11 years old when I first saw it, but as I saw it, 4 years later, 4 years after that, even recently, I own the movie and I still watch it and I still get those chills. And again, I gravitate towards that movie around Halloween season because I like seeing the individual tales and it all tied up inside of I'm just gonna say a little something like a funeral trap house almost. So check out Tales from the Hood, a wonderful anthology for this holiday season. On to 7. No lie, on this number 7 spot, I get frustrated with this movie, not because I hate the movie. I love it, obviously it wouldn't be on this list. I love Robert Rodriguez, and I love zombie movies. Put those together, we've got a powerhouse film. Well, before I go into my rant, what movie is it? It is Planet Terror. Why don't people talk about Planet Terror? It's insane to me. I get driven mad when I hear people talking about Death Proof more. Death Proof sucked, I'm sorry. That was the other movie that came out in the compilation of the Grindhouse films. It was Death Proof and Planet Terror, and maybe it's because people saw Tarantino's name on Death Proof, which I get. Who doesn't love Tarantino? But the superior film is Planet Terror. This aggressively gory zombie film, directed by Robert Rodriguez, starring Rose McGowan, Tom Savini, Bruce Willis, came out in 2007, and like I said, was kind of like a bundled package with Death Proof. Whatever. So Planet Terror, we see a chemical spill happen. Not even happen, it was intendedly released. There was like a biological weapon released, and there we have it. We have, a planet that's full of terror. I'll see myself out. No, but seriously, Planet Terror is the shit because I feel unlike its predecessors in other zombie films. Like, I love the remake of Night of the Living Dead starring Tony Todd, but this film, for some reason, besides just the cinematography style, which I love the grainy feel, I liked it because it felt very spooky to me. However, what I liked about the zombies, though, is that I'm not going to say other zombies, they look clean or neat, because, they're fucking zombies, they're disgusting. These zombies, for some reason, felt real slimy and icky, and just, I don't know, just the way they attacked people. Oh, god damn. I forgot about the way they attack people. These motherfuckers are ruthless. The zombies normally don't have good etiquette. It's not as if they're going to lay you down at a nice table, put, their tablecloth on, get the right knife and fork and go to town on you. No, they're nasty in most movies, but this one, they seem like really mad at the food they're about to consume. It seems like they don't even want other zombies around. Like, they just want to kill these guys and not give them a chance to rise up. That's why I like these zombies. Again, Planet Terror. You will enjoy this zombie film around the Halloween season. It's worth it. Open up those windows, if you want to, because there's a lot of cool scenes in the movie where I just felt so vulnerable. I was like, oh my god, close those doors, or oh my god, get in that car. So this movie's a ton of fun to watch. Alright, now let's get to the number 6 spot. Hey, who says that horror and scary stuff only has to happen on Earth? Alright, let's show some love to my stuff up in space, alright? Because, space is scary. You know what else is scary as well? Stuff that went into hell and then is still stuck outside of space. Oh, What movie are we talking about? We're talking about this goddamn Event Horizon. Released in 1997 and starring my boy Morpheus, Lawrence Fishburne, this captain is determined to recover stuff from space that belongs back to Earth. Unfortunately, this space vessel went somewhere that it should not have gone to. Now the more pressing question begins is, where the did it go? Because, there's a lot of questions surrounding this goddamn ship. And we need some answers, and oh my god, once we discover these answers, you'll see why I suggest this movie for the Halloween season. Me and my brother-in-law constantly talk about how scary this film is. To this day, I watched it the other day, and when they find the footage of where the ship went, like I said, as if the prospect of being out in space isn't scary enough, now we have supernatural elements that, probably came back from HELL hockey sticks, you know what I'm saying? I'll spell it out for you, hell. Okay, this movie is frightening, and I love it for the Halloween season, so please watch Lawrence Fishburne determine where the Event Horizon went, because there's some spine-tingling scenes in there, which sometimes I want to be like, hey, does anybody want to trade eyes? Because that was some fucked up shit. On to number 5. Now, this number 5 spot is very special to me. As you can tell, I am straight up giddy. I remember when I watched this movie, probably when I was in 8th grade, maybe freshman year. Released in 1983, this movie would be one of the lesser known, just a little blip on the radar / films that probably wouldn't even be talked about if it wasn't for the ending. What movie are we talking about? My friends probably groan whenever I say or mention this title, but the movie is Sleepaway Camp. So welcome to Camp Arawak. I probably said that wrong, but whatever, alright, because what's important is we're going to follow cousins Angela and Ricky through this camp. And let me tell you something. Someone's got a secret, but not yet. Patience, trust me, the ending will be there and it's worth the wait. But before we get to that, the movie is great. It's so cheesy that I love it. The death scenes are dumb. Some of the practical effects look so bad, but something about the film gives me the nostalgic feeling that I'm getting. I don't know why I wasn't even there during that time period, but it makes me feel like I was part of that crew. And being part of that crew means seeing some horrific shit at this awful camp. And I'm not just talking about the kills. Watch the opening scene and see how disturbing that is between the head cook and Angela, and it's very dark. Hey, fuck it. It was the 80s gang, man. Horror was a different animal back then, and this movie is a different breed. Again, it stands out from its slasher counterparts, and you'll see why once you see the acting and you see that incredible ending that people talk about, and there's a reason for it. On to number 4. Alright, family, we're going back to vampires, but watching the first 45 minutes to an hour of this film, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is a vampire movie, and one of my favorite vampire movies, and a very special reason why I'm talking about it. So what movie is this? We're talking about the wonderful From Dusk Till Dawn. This crime, thriller, horror, vampire movie came out in 1996, right when people started giving a shit about horror movies again, and what a godsend this whole crew was. Check this shit out. We already talked about how much I love Robert Rodriguez, so this mofo is directing it. We got, for the time in 1996, Tarantino was a hot commodity, still is, and he's coming out as not just eccentric, brilliant filmmaker, but this time he's the creepy actor in this, starring kind of opposite of his brother in the movie, the dastardly handsome devil George Clooney at the height of his popularity with ER. Then we've got Tarantino royalty and Harvey Keitel. We've got the stunning Juliette Lewis. What am I talking about, man? I'm getting ahead of myself with how good the crew is that I haven't even talked about the story yet. Now, I'm not going to get into too much details because I love this movie so much that I'm going to give it its proper review. So I don't want to get into too much detail, but premise, we've got a pair of brothers, the Gecko brothers, that are on the lam trying to get to Mexico to escape, and they run into a nest full of fucking vampires. We don't see it coming. It comes out of left field, and it is just, as they say in Scream 2, carnage candy. Oh my god. I'm just going to say this. Wait for the mariachi band in the strip club. Now, I 100% mean this when I say this movie has a very special place in my heart. My aunt, she was so wonderful to me. She really did encourage me to explore my goofy side and my horror stuff. And when it came out, she took me to go see in the theater. And not just the theater, I got to see it at the drive-in theater. I will never forget it. I got to see Rumble in the Bronx as the first movie, and then the second one, right when it was about 10 o'clock, nice and dark, I got to see this amazing crime vampire movie on a big canvas against the backdrop of the sky. As you can tell, it's a wonderful movie, and I highly encourage this for the spooky season. Thank you, Aunt Cicella, for showing me this on a wonderful experience. Check out this movie. Again, I made this list with no structure. There's no order in it because that wouldn't be fair to this film that I'm about to talk about. It is I have an ever revolving door about which one's my favorite. Obviously, Scream's up there, Halloween, it's tough, but this movie did something to me. Like, when I first watched it, it latched on to me, and I've always felt that this is one of the top 5 greatest horror movies I've ever seen. Sure, a lot of people will disagree with me. That's fine. I will argue till I'm blue in the face about how great Demon Knight is. Just 1 year too soon. If it was released in 96, Demon Knight probably would have had a better following, but since it was released in 95, it still to this day is severely underappreciated, and it's basically muffled. Like, I can talk to somebody because this was a Tales from the Crypt presentation. So I can say, hey man, have you ever seen Tales from the Crypt? Yeah, no, oh yeah, the show's great, but they did a movie called Demon Knight. What? And I'm like, yeah, what? What's it about? I will gladly tell you what Demon Knight's all about. Alright, we got Billy Zane playing the Collector. Very, very charming guy, but he seems like he's up to no good, chasing this gentleman named Breaker, who is played by William Sadler, who's, by the way, he's phenomenal in a lot of horror movies as of late. But besides that, so evil is chasing good, good's being chased by evil. We don't know which is which yet, but we get to this abandoned church that got turned into a motel out in the middle of fucking nowhere in New Mexico, which that in itself is pretty scary. I'm sorry, New Mexico, but I drove through there once. I almost got knifed several times. I'm getting off subject. That's a story for another time. Anyway, so we have our battleground set. We have this church with a certain amount of people, and we have, like I said, the battleground set for good versus evil, and they're trying to fight over possession of something that can literally turn our beautiful earth into a walking hell, and we don't want that. So we get to watch this unfold with some great tension throughout the whole movie. Like, I love it because it's like kind of preventing intruders from coming in. We see the intruder movies like You're Next and The Strangers, but here we have a demonic element trying to get in, but there's a way to fight them off, and it's cool to see these band of survivors holding them off and just praying that they survive, so that way, you know, we don't excruciatingly experience hell. But I'll tell you what, you know, hell feels like. It's the fact that nobody knows what this movie is. So do me a favor, please get a chance. I mean, ask me. I'll probably lend you my copy. Give it back. But honestly, watch Demon Knight this spooky season. All right, what are we on to? Number 2. For our numero dos spot, we're going back to vampires. And last year is what made me revamp, no pun intended. Okay, seriously, this time. Last year I decided to revamp my channel, and the inspiration for that was from me asking people if they had seen, I'm gonna say it, my favorite vampire movie. And a lot of people were like, I've never seen it. And I was like, oh my god, so I had to talk about it. I made the video, in case you didn't know, The Lost Boys. I still gush over how great The Lost Boys is. I made that first video just out of pure love. I didn't have anything rehearsed. I just wanted to talk about how great that movie is, and that sentiment still resonates with me today. That's why I always encourage people to please watch it. There's something magical about this movie. Like, this is one of the most unique World of Vampires I've ever seen. You know, we see the romanticized, like Bram Stoker's, the elegance. We've seen the angsty ones, like in Twilight. But with this crew in 1980, God, it better be 7. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I don't feel like looking it up. But this crew in 1987 showed a weird, different, edgy sort of vampire. And, like, everything around it, they just made fucking cooler. Everything! Like, honestly, their cool leather outfits, their midnight motorbike races throughout the beach into a goddamn woods, into a cliff all of a sudden, having, you know, sexy sax man playing I Still Believe. I mean, we've got some great stuff. And then that ending, I always talk about endings. I've heard someone say that the ending was rushed in that. I don't like that. I think that the ending was perfect and, again, wonderful for those Halloween nights when you're handing out candy and you have, I mean, spoilers here, but when you have the Lost Boys finding and targeting Sam and Michael and the Frog Brothers in the final act, what an ending, and it's scary. So the Lost Boys, great vampire film, great Halloween watch. Now time for number 1. Now, it seems blasphemous, you know, to not say Halloween should be number 1. I know it's Halloween season, I get it, you know, it's a great film, it's a classic, it's the mecca of horror movies, it is. But for the Halloween season, for what this movie brings in entertainment and chills and thrills and fun aspects, I'm gonna say that Trick or Treat is the best Halloween season movie you can watch. Trick or Treat, thankfully, is getting the credit and recognition it deserves. But that was not the case. In 2007, it was supposed to be released. But fear of it competing with whatever Saw movie came out at the time, and I guess the director had a bad run with his previous movie. I think it was like a Superman movie or something. But with those factors against that movie, this movie got shelved. It didn't get a theatrical release. Now, to add, you know, spitting on the corpse of the release date, they didn't even get a theatrical release afterwards. It went straight to the lovely shelves of your local Blockbuster. It got a straight to DVD release. After that immense display of disrespect against Trick or Treat, Sam and crew have come a long way. I mean, look at that dude, he's so cute. But you go into Spirit Halloween, you will see the characters from the infamous Bus Massacre, stuff like that. You'll see their masks all over Spirit Halloween, and it's great to see because the movie is fantastic. There is even, I found this, a collection which has a novelization and even new tales stemming from Trick or Treat. Now, what makes this movie so great? Everything about Trick or Treat makes Trick or Treat great. With Trick or Treat, we are back to my favorite form of storytelling, which is anthologies, which, you know, back to our notes, is a bunch of different stories woven together. Now, this movie, unlike a Creepshow, where primarily the stories are just individual and someone telling them, okay, this movie, they all kind of are connected. The story isn't linear, so it's fun to watch the details about how they're connected, and even seeing certain characters that don't belong in certain stories, they're still rubbing elbows together, and it's so fun, especially if you have a sharp eye, to see the connections. Where's my manners? I'm so busy talking about how fun the movie is and what I like about it that I just assumed you guys have seen Trick or Treat, so let me give you a quick premise of the movie. Sam here is like the spirits of Halloween. He is observing a sleepy little town that really takes Halloween serious. I mean, I want to go there. Is it fictional? I don't give a shit. I would still like to go there. But he's observing the townspeople and whether or not they are following the rules. When they don't, oh yeah, he'll step in. But what's fun too is that these aren't just normal people. There's shit going on with each of these stories that is not what you know, you thought you were going to encounter. For example, I'm just going to say the principal. That's it. I'm not going to say any more. It's for you to enjoy. And yeah, Trick or Treat. It's Halloween season. You have to enjoy this movie. We did it. Alright guys, so these are my 10 suggestions for this October 2021. Alright, we don't have that many days left in October spooky season, but still, I always recommend these movies when you're looking for something fun to watch. I mean, not gonna be the scariest, not the goriest, but these are great movies with a lot of fun atmosphere that will keep you happy during those spooky nights and you want something fun to watch. Alright guys, so Sam says, thank you so much for watching. Please click like and subscribe, alright guys? It's been an honor. Thank you so much for watching my suggestions, and please in the comments suggest some movies that maybe I would like and I haven't seen, or maybe like, hey Gil, what did you think about this one? I would love to talk to you guys about it. Alright, so again, like and subscribe. Enjoy spooky season. Be safe out there, alright guys? My name is Gilbert Ybarra. Thank you for watching the Attic Review. Smile, Tiger.